welcome to Busted Speakers. I'm Cam,
And I'm Alex.
and today we're reviewing another EP sent to me by the RYM user and PR rep Frenchie, and this is Serpents of Enceladus, pardon me if I mispronounce that, by a group called Codex Serafini, and I'm just going to read the press kit because I need someone to verify that I'm not having a stroke here. Hailing from Enceladus, the sixth largest moon of Saturn, comes Codex Serafini, the first Saturnian psych band to crash land onto planet Earth, somehow landing in Brighton, UK. Codex Serafini's mission is to hypnotize your minds with their strange intergalactic jam rock, starting with the release of their debut EP, Serpents of Enceladus, available now on cassette and digital formats through Half Melted Brain Records, in collaboration with Ceremonial Laptop.
Okay, well, I've never heard any music from a band hailing from outer space before, so
Neither have I.
regardless of what I think, this is so cool, Cam. Thanks.
Oh yeah, this is probably a world first, I would say, unless anyone else has
Yeah.
beaten us to the punch here.
So yeah, the fact that they said they were a psych band, that's definitely true. Because at points during this EP, it's 6 tracks, five sort of short ones, and then the last track we'll get into
hmm
soon. But
Technically, the officially it's only 5 tracks, so the sixth is a hidden track, I suppose, on
officially,
the
yeah.
cassette version. So
So whatever status that track has, we'll get into it very soon. This is definitely a sort of trippy psych jam record. This band could definitely play together conventionally very well. They're very tightly locked in together. Definitely hear some great fine-tuned playing with the bass and drum in here. Very phonetic guitar playing too. And I love the saxophone playing.
absolutely, yeah.
That aspect alone definitely lifts this above the mire of other releases, I'm sure, that sound like this, which I'm sure are released in the thousands every decade. So just saxophone alone, and yes, they can play conventionally, but they play really weird, tripped out jams. Like, what did you think of the vocals on here?
It was mostly wailing, if I'm not mistaken, or it could have been. That could just be how they speak on the sixth moon of Saturn.
That's true, yep. We cannot judge. This is
Nope.
like any other release from another country where I do not speak their language or their tongues, which is funny because there is a song called Speaking in Tongues on here. Probably my favourite song of a real song on here. It feels like the vocals are used as more of a instrument to project noise or more like primal scream singing rather than lyrics of any
Sure.
conventional form.
That's really how pretty much everything except the bass and drums felt to me. Like it's all just it.
Oh, true.
It's all there for accent and for flavor, and used like constantly throughout. It's not like you get nothing but drums and bass for extended periods, and then here's some vocals, here's some saxophone. It's all used in just this swirling mass of awesomeness.
Yeah.
But it's also not like post rock in its approach either. It's not like, the slow builds and epic scale and all that. It's very small scale.
Yeah, these are really short songs for the most part,
hmm
officially.
We'll get to that.
The saxophone use actually reminded me of some no wave stuff, which is where sort of the bare bones of rock music in the early 70s. I don't know what decade or time frame they use on their planet, but on our world we use decades. But yeah, no wave sort of emerged from the bare bones of punk or just loose rock music, completely jagged performances and using saxophones a lot to completely revolutionize rock as we knew it before things like post rock existed. So some of that reminded me of some stuff from that I've heard, which was enjoyable. I would say the song Speaking in Tongues is my favourite because it starts deceptively normal with its guitar, which the riff almost reminded me of like an Incubus song. I just like this EP quite a lot. The first 5 tracks, before I even knew the nature of the last song, I thought the first 5 tracks were slowly building into it, which they kind of do anyway.
Yeah, when I was listening to this for the first time, I thought I was like listening to it kind of in the background, and I thought, wow, this first song must be like some really crazy long extended freak out. But then I looked at where I was on the album. I was like halfway through the fifth track.
Okay.
So then I saw, oh, so this sixth track is very long. I wonder what that could mean. So I clicked and dragged over the lengths of the other five tracks, and I saw, oh, that's more or less the same amount of time. I wonder what that could mean. Alex, do you want to tell us what that could mean?
Well, I didn't know what that could mean before you actually very astutely pointed it out in chat before we started recording here. So, the first five tracks all add up exactly to the track length of the last track, which is in fact, and I did not know this, seriously, honestly, the first two times I heard it, is the entire first five tracks just played backwards, dumped into one singular track. And it kind of works as well.
It it is scary how well it works.
And honestly, I did not know it was backwards at all. I thought this was a uniquely performed piece of extended psych jam. I knew it definitely had some weird edited effects, which are generated from it being backwards. I knew there was something going on there. Like, I thought maybe some vocals were backwards, but the vocals weren't exactly intelligible to begin with, so I didn't make any bones there. And it's scary how not that weird saxophone backwards is to
Yeah,
me.
that
Like,
was the weirdest part.
yeah, like the wailing, like it's as if back to front saxophone playing sounds the same. Drumming kind of did actually become really weirdly inverted, but not enough for me to even think it was this. Now, seriously though, how much can we actually commend this last track for how much it works? Which must be by accident. Like, it is just backwards.
I can't even imagine what would lead somebody to, think about that or want to do it, because I can only think of a handful of instances even remotely like this in the past. Like the main one I know of is I think it's by Mudhoney, an album called My Brother the Cow,
Right.
which is like 75 minutes long, but the last half of it is just the entirety, like all the other songs in one track played backwards.
I
And then you
mean,
had,
I've heard of like Sonic Youth do it with some really early 80s stuff,
okay, yeah, now that you mention it, I think I remember that too.
but it's not a common thing because it's just not a thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like, backwards tape loops have existed obviously since the 60s with like the Radiophonic Orchestra from the BBC, or even the Beatles with like Revolution 9 or Tomorrow Never Knows. But yeah, the audacity to actually do this and it works is this commonplace for people from Saturn's sixth largest moon cam? We may never know. They may make five tracks for normal consumption in Earth form, and that's them only half made, and then they have to reverse them backwards to even be consumable or understandable to people on that moon.
It very well could be. Maybe the next thing that they release is going to be entirely backwards. Who knows?
Which, honestly, I wouldn't mind because trying to dissect or understand it backwards only would be quite interesting because it actually has a lot of value musically.
So, Alex, what rating would you give this? Keep in mind that if it's too low, they're going to sneak into your bedroom at night and melt your brain with a laser.
I actually was, before thinking of that aspect, gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Honestly, really furiously creative, energetic mishmash of thunderous guitar playing, primal scream, bearing of all of your mortal soul vocals, fun saxophone playing, good back end rhythm section. Everything comes together in a really fun way. Some of this is a little bit amateurish, but keep that on the down low. And the backwards track, just the circumstances of finding out it even was that, was so much fun as well. This is the sort of release that makes exploring new unknown artists actually worth it in the end. So, yeah, I'm happy I've heard this, and it's very promising start for these people.
I'm also going to give this a 7 out of 10. If you like the sound of early Pink Floyd, I guess, but you think that they should have incorporated saxophone earlier on in their career, this is probably going to be for you. I
Yeah,
would definitely check it out. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this band, and I'm definitely not going to report them to the Men in Black.
definitely not.
Definitely not. All right, so thanks for listening, everybody. If you like this video, consider subscribing so you can catch all of our music review uploads. And you can follow us on Twitter at _BustedSpeakers, and you can follow me on Twitter at SubProspector. And we will see you all next time. Bye.
See you guys.